Speaker. Okay. So we will today discuss about the Industrial Disputes Act 1947. So this is one of the important act in the history of Indian labor legislations. That is, it is trying to settle down the dispute which is arising between the employer and employee, or employer and employee, or between employee. So this is one of the major act which tries to protect the employees and which gives a settlement, and it is a grievance mechanism. So this particular act was enacted in the year 1947. So this act, why this ways is it is a there were some disputes. So there was some act already which was there in existence in 1929. So that act was called as Trade Disputes Act, and this particular act was introduced in order to overcome the shortcomings of the Trade Disputes Act 1942. Here in this act, we have what is called as a Works Committee and Industrial Tribunal. So this Works Committee and Industrial Tribunal are trying to administrate the conciliation mechanism. So under this act, it is made compulsory. So when there is a dispute in many public utility services or whatever establishments, we have to settle down those issues. So that is the reason why we have this particular act in existence. So when we talk about industry, so if this industry is from Latin, it is called as industrious, meaning industrious or diligent. Section 2J of this particular act defines industry, which means any business, trade, undertaking, or calling of employers, and includes any calling, service, employment, handicraft, or industrial occupation or avocation of workmen. So this is what is called as industry. So any can be any business or trade or an undertaking which calls for the employees. So that is called as industry. Now, this is in order to understand in a better way, we have Industrial Disputes Act. So we have with us the definition of industry. So under section 2J of this particular act, Industrial Disputes Act. So we should know what is industry, then only we can talk about a dispute. So here, as we told about, it is a calling of employers and including any calling services. And the definition of industry, it's very, very particular. Please make a note of it. The definition of industry does not include any agriculture operations. It is not applicable to hospitals or dispensaries. It is not applicable to educational institutions, scientific institutions, research institutions, or any training institutions. They are not coming under the purview of industry, because we know this is not for a profit. Then charitable social service institutions. So this is not coming under the purview of the term industry. Then what is a dispute? As I told you, dispute is nothing but a difference of opinion. So this dispute can arise between employees and employee, or employers and employers, and employer and workman and workman. So we cannot say dispute can arise only between, it can be between employers and employers. So one employer with another employer, or employer with his workman, or between two workmen who are working in your organization. So this dispute can be connected with employment or not, cannot be. Even sometimes they are not outside, they are not coming under the purview of employment also. So this is with respect to terms of employment or the conditions of labor or any other person. So there is a dispute, or this dispute is because of some friction over there. So there is a friction between employer employee, or employees of workman, or workman and workman. In such case, this is related to employment. Sometimes it cannot be even related to employment. In such case also, when there is a dispute, that is called as an industrial dispute. As far as the feature of this act is concerned, it is extended throughout India, including Jammu and Kashmir, and it encourages arbitration over the disputes between employers and employees, and it is one of the setting up mechanism. As I told you, Works Committee and the Conciliation Committee has been settled down. So we have this Works Committee and Industrial Tribunals. So these are the main outcome of this particular act, which is trying to bring out a mutual consultant. That is, there is a mutual consultation between employer and employees in order to have cordial relationship. So we know dispute is some dissatisfaction or some friction. So when there is some friction, we cannot leave it because that may lead to a very severe causes or consequences. So we want to settle down those issues. So there is a constitution of a works committee, and we have a industrial dispute tribunal. So this particular industrial tribunal will be trying to consolidate. So there is a conciliation mechanism. That is why we have this particular act, and this act is also very much helpful for setting up a permanent conciliation mechanism or a machinery. So it is set up at various stages. So we are having definite time limits. So there is a procedure how to go for conciliation and arbitration. This act is emphasizing on compulsory adjudications. So other than conciliation and voluntary arbitration, we also have adjudication. So this is the highest thing which can be settled in order to have settlement of the disputes. So this commission or whatever this committee is having a very important pivotal role in the particular Industrial Disputes Act. Now, this particular act, as I told you, has been amended for a very severe time, many times, and they have inserted this works committee or industrial dispute tribunal. All these are the insertion to the particular act. So, whatever changes is happening in the business environment, that will have to have an impact on the industrial dispute side because it is only a dispute settlement mechanism. So, this is one of a special legislation which is applying to workmen irrespective of amount of wages. So it covers also the supervisors, drawing wages, and not exceeding the specified amount that we will see in the later slides. And it also governs the service conditions. So this act, as I told, it is also out of employment. There is a dispute, or even or not covering under the employment also. So it also governs the service conditions of the employees or the workmen who are working in the particular act under the particular industrial sector, and it is a supplementary to the Indian Contract Act. So you are all already well versed in Indian Contract Act. This is only a supplementary to the Indian Contract Act, and it prevents and settles the conflict between two parties. So this is as I told, it is a there is a committee, works committee, there is an arbitration mechanism, there is a conciliation mechanism, permanent conciliation mechanism. This will try to settle down the conflict. The conflict is there is a difference of opinion or difference of interest between two parties. So that two party can be employers and employers, or employers and employee, or that is employer mean workman, or workman and workman. In such case, there can be two parties to the conflicts. So this is a minimum state, and there can be more parties also. And based on the various judgments only, we have seen the objectives of the act, which we'll see in the next slide. So the term I already have discussed about the industry. So here we are talking about industry in the economy activity. So that, as I told you, that is why we are not talking about hospitals or educational institutions or research institutions or scientific institutions or agriculture into the purview of the definition of the industry. The main objectives, why do we have this particular act? So this particular act focuses on securing industrial peace. So they try to bring out preserving amity and good relations between the employer and employee. So this is one of the main measures in order to preserve, then investigate. As I told you, there is a committee, works committee, conciliation committee, or adjudicating committee, or dispute tribunal. They investigate why there is a dispute, what is the reason for dispute, and how mutually coordinately they can settle these disputes. So that is called as the investigation settlement of industrial disputes. So they try to prevent and settle the industrial disputes. Then they try to secure and preserving amity and good relationship between the workmen, and they try to have a secure industrial peace. So industrial peace is a must for any industry to sustain. And they also promote good relations through external machinery. So external machinery is the conciliation mechanism, then courts of inquiry, then we have a labor courts, then we have industrial tribunals, and we have national tribunals, the national, that is the highest hierarchical authority. So this particular national tribunal or industrial tribunal or labor court or the courts of inquiry, what they do, they try to ameliorate the condition of workmen. So in an organization, what is the condition of the workman? That is very, very important. Then that is whether he has got all the things, facilities as a workman. He has to have the maximum facilities that can be enjoyed by a workman during his work. Then, in case of any disputes or grievances, some mechanism should be there in order to overcome that. That is the redressal mechanism. So, this is given through the statutory mechanism. So, this national tribunal or industrial tribunal or labor courts, they are acting as a statutory machinery which tries to settle down the disputes which is arising between the employees or workmen or whatever it is inside the factory or industry. And they are providing job security. As I told you, this is a security act which gives us job security. So there is a in features we saw that is it is also covering the service related conditions of the workmen also. So it tries to give them a job security, which is very much essential in workplace for an employee or a workman. So it provides to give a workman relief in case if there is a layoff or retrenchment which is occurring. So we will discuss all that in the next slides or possibly today. Then relief to workmen is being provided in case if there is a layoff or retrenchment, and they have what is called as a collective bargaining. So these are the main objectives which are being focused in the act. So this is what has been given. So they provide so they prevent illegal strikes and lockouts also. So they also avoid unfair labor practices. So unfair labor practices is very, very serious issues. So there cannot be any such unfair practices. So this particular act tries to avoid such unfair industrial disputes, and it brings in good relationship between the employers and employee, and it provides relief, and it is always looking into the peaceful settlement of industrial disputes. We'll see the difference between individual dispute and industrial dispute. See, when a workman, a single workman, who is not satisfied or he is having some grievances or he is having some disinterest, that is called he has been penalized or something has happened to him that causes a grievances between him. So that particular workman who is a single workman, so he is trying to have a aggrieved situation, and in such case we discuss this. So there is a action taken by the employer, and that lays down for the industrial disputes. So section 2k of the Industrial Act 1947 speaks of a dispute between employer and workman. So that is with respect to, and this is industrial dispute could not be as per the industrial dispute, because it becomes one thing is taken. If it becomes one, if it is taken by the trade union or the number of workmen, so that is with respect to individual disputes. In case of industrial dispute, it as we saw it as a definite in 2k of the particular industrial dispute Act 1947, which gives a dispute or difference between an employer and employee, or employers and workmen, or between which is connected with the employment, or it is not connected with the employment, which is with respect to terms of employment. See, there should be a relationship between employer and employee, so that they are working in a one single setup as a labor, or any person who is having some connectivity with terms of employment. Then individual dispute is declared as industrial dispute on some conditions. So we will see the conditions when the individual dispute is becoming an industrial dispute. So there is a body of workmen. So here we refer to that as a trade union, or there are a number of workmen who are having same cause with the industrial workmen. So they are having some same type of agreement or disinterest or grievance. Then they join together. So it can be in the form of a trade union, and that individual dispute will be taken up or sponsored by the workmen as a body trade union, and it is being represented with the date of reference. So in order to constitute an industrial dispute, we have to have satisfaction that with respect to there should be a dispute, and that dispute should be with the employers and employer, or employer and workman, or workman and workman. So this is a very important condition Only then we can call it as an industrial dispute. Second one is this dispute should be connected with employment or non-employment of terms or whatever it is. And it should be, the dispute may be in relation to any workman or any other person whom they are interested as a body. So that is a collective group whom they are interested. And this is how we talk about the individual dispute and industrial dispute. Then, what are the causes of this industrial dispute? Why these particular individual disputes are arising out of? So, when we talk about industrial disputes, so we have to have some difference of that. So, there are three things which should be there. That there should be a real and substantial dispute. See, we cannot create a dispute, and that should be a real incident which is happening, and that should be real, and that should be a substantial dispute, and this dispute should only be the difference between his employer and employee, and this dispute should be a difference which is connected with the employment or not connected with the employment. So in order to go for this, we have to know how the particular difference has arisen. So we have to see the dispute definitions over here. And as I told you, these some of the things which are not coming under industry is agriculture operations. This agriculture operations, then that is hospitals, education or scientific research or training institutions, and institutions which are owned or managed by organization which are substantially engaged in social or upliftment or social or philanthropic services, or the industries which are coming under the Khadi board or the village industries, they are also not coming under the particular meaning of industry. So any activity which is with the respect to the sovereignty of the function of government, even that will not be coming under this. Or any professional bodies also, in that case, if they have less than 10 people, this is also not coming under the definition of the particular industry is concerned. So only if we know the definition of industry, we can talk about the industrial disputes. Now, what is this industrial dispute? What are the causes of this industrial dispute? That is very, very important. So when we talk about this industrial dispute, so this industrial dispute may arise because of, that can be because of the industrial factors or the management attitude towards the labor. That is a management attitude. Sometimes the management is very strict, or they may take very severe actions. Such attitude is not also permissible for the labor. So such attitude or some other attitude, as we know, the industrial, when we talk about industrial dispute, it also covers the welfare of his employees, the service condition of his employee. So the management attitude to the labor or the government machinery or some other causes. So when we talk about some other causes, that can be rivalry between trade unions. So we can have number of trade union in one industry. So there is some issues with trade union in that, even that may cause an industrial dispute, or there is a charter of demands. That is, they have more demand. So we have to look into such demands as a management. When they are not looking into the demands of their workmen, even that causes industrial dispute. Or when there is a high or heavy workload, or there are some standing orders which has been given as a rules or service conditions, or with respect to safety measures. Even such standing orders, rules, service conditions or safety measures are to be maybe the causes for industrial disputes. Or suppose if there is any agreement or any decree of court works if that is not implemented, in such case also there can be industrial disputes. Now we can categorize such industrial disputes under different heads. So first one is economic factors. So with respect to not having proper wages, or when incentives are not properly given to the workmen, or the benefits. Sometimes the benefits which are being given can be taken back, so that may affect the employees, or that may create an agreement between the mindset of the workman. That is also can be the thing. And the working conditions. So as we already know about the factories act, the working conditions, the safety, health and welfare measures of the employees, the working condition should be favorable, and that should allow the worker to work in a better way, so that that may not have an interruption in the workspace, so that may also cause industrial disputes. Then the management practices, we discussed about unfair labor practices. So we know what is called as unfair labor practices. Then there is an inefficient supervision, or there are some norms. When such norms are not being followed by the management, or management is not following the acceptable norms, that may be treated as a violation of acceptable norms. Then trade union practices, as I told you, there can be rivalry between the trade unions, so there can be number of trade unions, or there can be no non-cooperative approach, because all people has to join together. When we have groupism, in such case, even there we can have some industrial disputes. And regarding the legal and political factors, we have a multiplicity of labor laws. Then political interference, we now know in India we have a very much labor trade unions which are coming under the purview of the political parties also. So that can be the causes of industrial dispute. So they have now categorized the industrial disputes into four heads for a better understanding. One is economic factor, management practices, trade union practices, legal and political factors. Now this deemed industrial dispute. So as we know, this is what we have seen down now is the industrial disputes. Now what are to be deemed as industrial dispute? This is coming under section 2A. So when an employer discharges, dismisses or retrenches or otherwise terminates the services of the individual workman. See, if a workman, as we know, that is this particular act is trying to prevent him, protect him, give him a security. If an employer is trying to discharge him from the particular job, or dismisses him, or retrenches, or sometimes terminates his services of an individual workman, this dispute or difference between an individual workman and the employer who is connected with that may arise any such issues which discharges, dismissal, or retrenchment or termination, that is to be treated as an industrial dispute. So in this case, it is an individual who is under being a dispute has been created. So here, no other workman nor any union or workman, they are becoming the part of the dispute. So there is an employee, that employee is an ex-employee, his name is X. He is working in the particular industry. He is being discharged of his duty, or he is being retrenched, or he is being terminated or dismissed. In such case, there is a rise, or there is a cause, and that you call it as an industrial dispute. Now, this is a picture which shows that people will start agitating in the form of they go for a strike. So it is also one of the disputes which is arising in the industry. Then we will see the industrial dispute mechanism. So I told you about the works committee, which is part of this for industrial dispute mechanism. Conciliation officer is there is a labor court, there is industrial dispute tribunal, and there is an arbitral tribunal. There is a role by the central government and the state government. There is a conciliation board. So these are the mechanism which is involved in the industrial resolution mechanism. Award is a decree of court which is given for the verdict given for the particular thing. So this is a dispute framework, how the particular thing is being settled. So we have a voluntary settlement, or there is a binding arbitration, or sometimes we can take the proceeding to the national court. When this is not possible, then we go for this. So in voluntary settlement, we go for negotiation, or we try to go for mediation and conciliation. In case of binding arbitration, we go for institutional or ad hoc basis. Then this is the types of industrial dispute. So we will talk about this GARO, or collective action, or militant workers, or lockout, or these are the constraints. So we will see, and these are the committees or authorities which are coming under the works committee. So works committee section 3, conciliation officer section 4, board of conciliation section 5, then section 6 refers to court of inquiry, labor code section 7, industrial tribunal section 7, 8, and national tribunal section 7B. So these are the boards or things which are involved in the industrial disputes. So we are talking about this industrial disputes, and you have now idea about this industrial disputes.